Hey guys, what's going on? Here's another video for you. This is my Summoning collection. Summoning is an epic atmospheric black metal band from Austria. They started in 1993. They released a bunch of demos, 2 splits. I've actually never really listened to them before. I've never really heard anything good about them, so I don't know. But first full length they released was in 1995 called Lugburs. I don't own that. Not a crazy fan about it. Crazy big fan about it. This is the only album where they use a real drummer. I really like the drum sound. I think I love the tone of it, like the snare and everything. It sounds great. The drumming, the drummer is kind of, you know, think like early Graveland or Judas Iscariot. He's not the most talented guy on the planet, but I mean, it's black metal, so whatever. And the songs are okay. I like the first 1 or 2, and then after that it just kind of trails on and doesn't really go anywhere. I mean, it's not bad, it's not great, it's just kind of like, it's okay. I'd give it like a 6.5 out of 10. Also, it doesn't need to be, you know, as long as it is, being that it's like, you know, they're still trying to find their sound. So then after that, in 1997, I think it is, right? 1990. Oh, actually, same year. I didn't know that. Miss Morgul was released, which I have on CD. This is an excellent, excellent fucking album. I've always had this album. I've always known about it. I've known like songs here and there, but I've never given the full thing like a listen straight through until like a couple months ago. And I was really, really blown away by this. There's so many good moments on this album. And the thing I like about it the most is the production, because they moved to programmed drums, and they start mixing in more of like what they're known for today, kind of like the tribally, like epic drum patterns, but they also mix it with like traditional metal, like double bass, 2/4 shit, whatever. And I love that. The programmed drums, you know, they sound like they would sound for the time, but they're very up in the mix and you can really get into it. I love that you can hear the guitar perfectly. Everything's just mixed. Like, I love this album. It's so good. I was really surprised at like how much I enjoyed this. There's so many good songs. Lugburs, Passing of the Grey Company, Dagor Bragalak, Legend of the Master Ring. There's a mix of some stuff without guitar on here, like kind of like ambient-ish kind of sounding songs, but then like also just straight up black metal with excellent guitar riffs. And you'll see later on while I'm talking in this video why this is such a big plus for me. Well, specifically, but the problem starts with the next album. But yeah, I would give this like a 9 out of 10. I really, really like this album a lot. I think, like, I guess they're still trying to find their sound on here, but they have so many good ideas, and pretty much every song on here is just excellent. So then after that, they released Dal Guldur in 1997, which is a huge album for them. Most people really like this album. Alright, well, I'll say I really like the first song, which to me is Nightshade Forest, because you can hear the guitar. The rest of the album, and this is kind of the reason why I don't really like Goat Horns by Nocturnal Mortem. The rest of the album is just like synth, and you can't even hear the guitar. And it's like, I don't know, for me personally, I'd rather hear the guitar over the synth. Like, it's fine. It has, you know, some people are into that. I'd rather just hear the riff, man, you know, like, but again, that's just me. So then after Nightshade Forest, like Elfstone, the song's like okay. It's just goofy video game synth with like some slight buzzing of the guitar in the background. Now, I will say the production on this album is really, really good, and the vocals sound awesome. But yeah, I mean, after like Elfstone, Khazad-dûm, I can't even read these, Unto Long Glory, whatever, they kind of just, there's not really that many standouts. Like, it's a nice listen. I like it, but it's definitely not their best, and I don't believe it deserves the hype it gets. I know, like, most people fucking love this album, but it's just good, not great. I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10. Then after that, in 1999, they released Stronghold, which is a fucking awesome album and a breath of fresh air from Dal Guldur. It's either this or Minas Morgul is my favorite. So many fucking good songs on here. So much variation too, because I feel like Dal Guldur was kind of like the same tempo, the same like kind of like formula for the songs. This one they have like some triplety parts, like in is it Snow White Marbled Ones or We're Hoping Daylight Die. Yeah, The Glory Disappears is excellent. Long Lost to Where No Pathway Goes has an awesome chorus. And then the last song on here, A Distant Flame Before the Sun, is easily one of the best songs they've ever written. That fucking part in the first half of the song where it's like the guitar on like the higher notes with the like the high pitched kind of vocals is just so awesome and so uplifting. I heard that song for the first time when I was like, I think I was like 14 or something, and I was like, holy shit, what the fuck is this? But yeah, like pretty much every song on here, The Riding Horse on the Deadly Ground, I love this album, and I love that you can hear the fucking guitar in it as opposed to Dal Guldur. I know a lot of people had a problem with that, but again, it's two different camps, people who like goat horns and Dal Guldur, and people who prefer riff-based kind of shit. I also appreciate how they went back to using kind of more like metal-based drums on here, which is awesome. So yeah, this is the 9 out of 10, easy. Love this album. Then after that, in 2001, they released Let Mortal Heroes Sing Your Fame, which again, it sounds so stupid, but it goes to show you, sometimes I just buy shit and it sits on the shelf for a while. I never gave this a proper listen straight through either until a couple months ago. And this was yet another just great surprise. I mean, these guys have a really strong period in their career. And I guess it's like they're a very, very consistent band. I'll give them that. Up until like one album, but we'll get to that. This is a great album. The production is like even better. Probably the best they've ever had thus far. I love South Away and Hollow Halls, Beneath the Fells. The other songs are very, very good, but they kind of all like meld into one. Not that that's a bad thing. It's just a very enjoyable listen, very well written. And then the last song, Farewell, is just shivers down your spine type song. I just fucking love it. I see why this album gets a lot of praise. This is an easy 8.5 out of 10. Not quite as good as Stronghold and Minas Morgul, but it's definitely up there. After that, in 2006, 5 years later, they released Oathbound. I bought this when it came out. I love this album. It's very, very good. Some mixed feelings on it. Across the Streaming Tide is cool. I particularly like the drums in that. The third song, Meritus Vras, is goofy because it's like written in Orc language and it's just kind of an song. But then Might and Glory is just a masterpiece of a song. It's so epic. It's so emotional. I fucking love that song. The choirs at the end especially. And then the next three kind of like, they're not bad, but they're not as memorable as some of their other stuff. But then the last song, Land of the Dead, is some might argue that's the best song they've ever written. Absolute fucking masterpiece. I can't even begin to explain. The choirs, the keys, everything's just mixed perfectly. An absolute masterpiece of a song. But yeah, they do have like a little bit of low points in here, like 5 through 7 are kind of just like, they're good, but they're not like, they don't really stick with you. And number 3, the Orc song. So I'd give this an 8 out of 10. The high points are really fucking high, but the low points are like just kind of mid, like whatever. So then after that, in 2013, they released Old Morning's Dawn, which I don't have. I kind of fell out of touch with them just because it had been a 7-year gap since Oathbound. So they released that in 2013, Old Morning's Dawn. And I listened to it again the other day. It's very good. It has some good songs. The song Old Morning's Dawn is, and I know I feel like I say this for like a lot of their albums, but easily one of the best songs they've ever written, period. The chorus in that is just beyond words catchy and just so triumphant. Again, those fucking choirs, man, just... But then they also have Phlegm Fair is very good. The last song was very good. I think I don't know. I mean, everything in here is very good. And this is a thing with them, like, particularly, like, you know, like Dal Galder and stuff like that. Like, the songs are good, but they're not as memorable as they can be, I suppose. But yeah, it's a good album. Specifically, Old Morning's Dawn and the last song are probably my favorite. I would probably own it if I saw it. I just never really gave it much priority because it's not like the hardest thing to acquire. But that being said, yeah, I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10. It's good. Not my favorite. And then after that, the last album they released was in 2018 with Doom We Come. I hadn't listened to this album either. I gave it a listen today and was not impressed. Did not impress me very much. The second song, Silvertine, is very good. I like the atmosphere of it, like with the kind of the riff in it's very good. And then there's like some choir parts. The first song is just like really awkward. There's like awkward like movie cuts, like talking clips in there. Not a good song. The rest of the songs are not very good either. He tries to do the clean vocal, like kind of Blake Judd, even like early Alexi Leo kind of comes to mind too, like that raspy but like clean singing shit. And it's worked for them in certain songs in the past, but here it just does not work. This whole album just feels completely uninspired. Nothing really stood out to me, so definitely don't need to pick that up. And it's, you know, it's just kind of like, it's just uninspired. So I would give it like a 5 out of 10. It's fine. It's not great. But yeah, so they haven't released anything since 2018. They're a very good band. I hope they bounce back from this album. I see that it got good reviews, evidently. I kind of find that hard to believe, but yeah, I know the one guy in Summoning is in Abigor, and they just released an album, so maybe he's busy with that or whatever, but hopefully they release something soon. They're a very good band, and they have very fucking good albums, like Minas Morgul and Stronghold, so check them out if you haven't already. Great band. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you later.